on, man?
Hey, what's good, Money? How you been?
So been all right, man. So ready for this mid-season, which is right now.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the Money and Veli podcast. I'm your co-host, Veli.
And I'm your co-host, Money.
Yes, sir. Back with another banger, episode 9.
Yeah, for all you newcomers right here. Yeah, this the mid-season. Feel free to watch the previous episodes too. Get up to date with what we're talking about, because now it's time for us to switch up, go to more into the today's news and recent stuff that what happened within this month and within last month too, which is what we're going to get into. But right now, what's the topic, Veli?
Well, for one, the episode "The Danger Returns." And how do we introduce that? We got to go back and talk about influences.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And then for you newcomers, this is practically part 2 of Dangers of the Market, which was episode 3. So feel free to check that out.
Yes, sir. Run up the views on it, likes, comment, subscribe. We got it on YouTube.
Yeah, so, a lot of the big platforms, hit that notification bell wherever you're at. Yeah, and get in there and learn something.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and get into it. So for one thing, for the dangers of the market, we got to start talking about the influences. Like Money said, we'd already previously talked about influences before, but I'll kind of go over like a quick recap on basically what influence I'm talking about. And basically what I mean influence is just factors that cause the market to fluctuate in prices. So there's a plethora of things that can cause that. For one, supply and demand, wars, national disasters, the level of trust in the financial sector, the level of trust in a government, a legal system, new technologies, things like that. Or even news from a business CEO or news from a company. All those things can influence the market.
Definitely. And then that's what we're going to get into like right now, especially when Veli just mentioned, the trust within these financial sectors too, because that's been, a big issue lately. And I'm gonna get into like certain networks that are involved in the crash at that too, especially within the crypto market, because people want to know like what happened, because like if you're paying attention, the market's been crashing and then just getting lower and lower on both sides, especially crypto, which crashed hard. Like Bitcoin was what, 50K, then it crashed in the 20s now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and Ethereum, which went back like to a whole 1,000. Yeah, so we're gonna get into the events within that section right there, which is gonna lead me to bringing up Terra Luna. So if you've been involved in the crypto market, then you definitely heard about the Luna crash. And so I'm gonna tell you like a little bit what that is and what actually happened, especially when I talk about trust, because these people that a lot of these people putting their money into these cryptos, that's part of a company that you definitely can't trust, and then you end up losing your money. And it happens a lot in crypto, but it really happened this time, within the past few months, up until today. So I'm gonna talk about Terra Luna. So Terra is owned by the CEO named Do Kwon. And then so they got 2 coins. They got the UST, which is a stable coin. Then they got their Luna token. So how they got people into there, they promised a lot of APY, a lot of returns, like you're getting 20%. If you participate in that network, you invest in the coin, you get paid, a whole lot of interest with their stable coin. Now, what stable coins are is they're still a crypto, but their prices don't go up and down like a crypto. They usually keep it pegged with the dollar, so the stable coin is always going to be worth $1. sometimes like it'll fluctuate between like $1.99, but still it keeps the one to one peg with the dollar, so you can keep the value of your returns when you cash them out. So that's what a stable coin is. But the difference between these stable coins is the backing. Like not every stable coin is made the same, which I'm gonna dive into Terra Luna stablecoin, which is called UST. Now, the UST stablecoin is it has a backing called let me see, it's an algorithmic stablecoin. That's what it is because it's backed by code, and it's not the only one, but that's what an algorithmic stablecoin is. Now you got something like USDC that's actually got real US dollars in reserve. It's actually backed by the US dollar and keeps the 1-to-1 ratio with the dollar. But with UST, it's not. It's just code. And then they say they got like $3 billion worth of Bitcoin in reserves just in case something happens, which I'm gonna get into that later on. So what ended up happening is the stable coin wasn't so stable. It lost its peg, went all the way down. It crashed, went all the way down, which was not supposed to happen. And the market ended up crashing, and people, want to know why. Now you're seeing articles, Terra Luna this and Do Kwon that. But that's right after that, the crypto market had crashed horribly, and it's still crashing. And then, yeah, it is. And UST, and then what UST is, you already know it's an algorithmic stable coin, that wasn't so stable, but it happened to be a top 10 stable coin, and which was at number 4 at one point. So with these stable coins, if they crash, that affects the markets badly, especially if you're top 10 stable coins. And then that's exactly what happened. And then people are investigating the CEO till this day, Do Kwon. And then and then there's allegations saying saying this and that. It might have been an inside job. He might have had some people on it too. But I ain't gonna get into that. I'm gonna just say, it's a fact that he had sold shares right before the crash. Sold shares of Luna, which is the actual crypto that crashed too, by the way. And then what is crazy is, he sold shares, stealing money, selling millions of shares since early this year. So he sold billions of dollars worth of Luna before the whole market had crashed, for one. And now he's getting into trouble with that. And then two, what happened to all that Bitcoin reserves, because they had people believing that when they relaunch it, which they did, which the exchanges allowed, that everything was going to be okay, because people wanted to get their money back because they lost billions of dollars, messing with this network. Like billions of dollars was lost. So it had everybody furious. But at the same time, there was a lot of people and still putting money into this Luna coin called, Luna 2.0. That's what they call it. It was like, oh yeah, it's about to revamp. Yeah, you see it. Terra is about to be bigger than ever. Crashed 80%. So they fooled the people twice. And then I'm sorry to say it, but the people that put their money into it, after getting fooled the first time, actually ask for it. Because what happened, you can't trust them. That's a red flag right there. Not financial advice, but I'm just saying. So they end up losing that money twice, and the fact that people knowing that they had all those Bitcoin reserves, that's what got them believing in that too. I was like, yeah, it's going to be, backed by Bitcoin. They're going to use this Bitcoin. What happened to the reserves? Most likely he sold it because the Bitcoin reserves didn't do anything.
Mm.
And that's wild. And had people, trying to break into his house and everything. And it's still, this happened a month ago, and he's still being investigated till this day. And then now they're finding out new things. They just found out this month how much he actually sold before the crash happened. So yeah, everybody lost billions. The CEO still making all that money. So that's one thing right there, like that we got going on today was like this Terra Luna situation, and then how the market crashed the way it did. And then not only that, that um so if you think the stable coin effect in the market is bad, the number one coin is actually under fire too, because uh I'm gonna bring up this other um scandal that's been going on for years, but they have yet to get caught, and it's called Tether USD, by the Tether Treasury. And then that's what people have been looking at ever since this algorithmic stablecoin crash, because they're looking at the backing. Now Tether's been in question for a while because they say they was backed, 1-to-1 with the dollar, because they was actually backed by the dollar. They actually had, all that in reserves, but it wasn't 100% backed by the dollar. They lied and say it was 100% back, but it wasn't. It was actually under that. So they got caught in a lie once, and then now they said they backed mostly by commercial papers. So they're back now because their backing is questionable. People have been taking money out of Tether too, and then putting it to things more certified like USDC, which has a real actual US dollars and reserves. Tether doesn't. They've been printing for the longest time. So that's the scandal behind Tether, and it's the most used stable coin. Still, like, it's the number one stable coin, but it's not fully backed, which is a problem, because if that and it's actually most of the market. Like, I remember I was looking at this Quincy Jones video. He averaged it to be 60% of the market. So I mean, Tether being half the market and it'll crash. Do you know, like, I mean, if Luna crashed the market like this, do you know how bad Tether can be?
Exactly. And it's more than half. That is not a small amount. Not a
Exactly.
small amount at all.
No, not a small amount at all. And then they're not, properly audited too. They're actually not audited. They kick the auditors out. And then every time like the market goes down a little bit, and then I've been looking at this tracker on Twitter. It says, a billion coins or 100 million coins been printed by the Tether Treasury. So they printing all this money, but how much of it is actually backed? Because they just printed out of thin air.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a scandal about them actually getting real money back, because what they've been doing is they've been sending it to other exchanges like Bitfinex, which bought Bitcoin, drive the price up. They sell it, and then they get some of that money back in returns. Doing all that illegal stuff when they was printing money out of thin air in the first place.
And hence why we got the title "Dangers of the Market," because these are some of the dangers you're going to see, and hopefully, I wouldn't wish it upon you, but you might encounter when you kind of stick your hand in this.
Yeah, which is why doing your research is important too, because there's a lot of coins out there, and you got to know what to choose. You choose the wrong coins, that can really hurt you, and who you're trying to support. Can hurt you and your family.
That's true. And another thing I forgot to bring up for some of the viewers that might not understand, like, why he keeps mentioning stablecoin when he's already talking about the Terra Luna coin. What does a stablecoin have anything to do with it? For one thing, when it comes to cryptocurrency, a lot of them have a lot of volatility. And volatility, I mean price movement. There's a large price swings. Literally, beginning of the day, example, I'll give you Bitcoin. Bitcoin could be worth, for the sake of the argument, it could be worth 60,000 a day. And then for whatever reason, near the end of the day, even like a few hours in the day, it'll drop to like, who knows, 53,000, 54,000. That's a large price swing. That's what we call volatility, is price swing. And because there's such a large volatility in these currencies, you need something to back it and to keep it stable for price reasons. Hence the name, a stable coin. the big problem with this Terra Luna situation is even the stable coin dropped, which ultimately caused the crash. And the reason, not even the reason for that, when it came to the Terra Luna coin, a lot of people started exchanging the Terra USD for the Luna coin. And because of that, the supply of Luna spiked and the price plummeted. And you have more people selling off the Terra coin. Because of that, the balance between them, the balance mechanism between them stopped. That's more like the technical side of why it crashed. Money just kind of gave you the behind the scenes reasons of some of the results that caused it to crash.
Yep. And then, now people are paying attention to like how the stable coins are, because this is what can happen when a stable coin is when it isn't properly backed in the first place, which it was backed by the code. They was trying to do that instead of, real money. And then that's the risk you're taking, if you don't know what you're putting your money into. So
exactly,
that
that's
goes,
true.
Yep, that goes with, the UST and now the USDT. That's the ticker symbol for Tether, the USDT. And what they got in common, except Tether hasn't been caught yet. They've been they've been under fire before, but yeah, but now if they get caught this time, no, that's gonna hurt the market. Because think about it, people use a lot of these stable coins to like not only keep the same returns, the value of their returns, but also buy other coins off the market too, because that's something called trading pairs where you deposit the coin into the account so you can buy some other coins. And Tether has a lot of trading pairs, along with Bitcoin, which is why I said it's the most used, because it's like the most used when it comes to trading pairs, trading for other coins. But what happens when a lot of people actually buy something that's, with something that's not even worth anything in the first place? That's a problem. So yeah, of course it's going to hurt the market.
Yeah, definitely going to hurt the market. And the reason why any of this has any I guess why it's connected even to the stock market or to us as normal people, the stock market kind of reflects, to a certain extent, reflects of kind of like how the economy is going to a certain extent. With this whole Terra Luna situation, and even the reason any of that matters is cryptocurrency has come a long way now. It's in the forefront of everything. By being that, and a lot of companies back the coin, certain currencies, or they actually allow it in their economic system where you can purchase products with their currencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. A lot of these companies and banks are now allowing the use of these cryptocurrencies to purchase products from them. The reason this is such a problem now, when these things crash, cryptos has now it has kind of like a responsibility, because they hold so much weight into the market now. They drag other sectors down with them. So now they have a responsibility. This is why it's such a concern now of why certain things are crashing. I'm like, oh, it's cryptos. They ain't got nothing to do with us. So like I said, they hold a lot of weight now. This is going back to us saying how the stocks and cryptos are becoming connected. They're going to affect each other, as it's showing now. They're both affecting each other, because the stock market is down. We're in a severe bear market with the stock prices.
Already. Yeah, and then just get more severe at that too.
Exactly. And it's severe in other places too, not even the stock market. As far as influences around the world, we have an increase in prices. And we all know that.
That's true. Yeah, each and every one of us is feeling it.
Exactly, especially with these gas prices.
Yeah, man. And then yes, one thing is leading to another, which is why, like, I'm glad you brought that up too, because like what we mentioned, with the Terra Luna thing is what happened last month, still being investigated this month. And then I'm glad he mentioned, like how crypto market affects the stock market and vice versa, you know, just to show you like what we've been talking about. And notice how both the markets keep crashing at the same time. One crash, the other crash too. For those, that's been on it. Either one of those markets or both of the markets,
Was
because
it another one that crashed too?
oh yeah. Are you talking about another crypto?
Or didn't crash? Was it Celsius?
Yeah, it was definitely Celsius, and I was just about to bring that up too, because people are questioning if the Terra Luna incident had led to the Celsius incident, which I think it did. Especially the way I'm gonna break it down to you now, like what's going on with Celsius for the people that haven't heard about it or don't know too much about it and just heard about it. So what Celsius is a network that promised people a lot of APY, just like Terra Luna, a lot of returns for them, locking their coins up. So I mean, not locking it up, but, putting their coins in, one of their DAOs or one of their dApps, and then they get a whole bunch of returns, whole bunch of interest. So what happened with that is Celsius couldn't keep up with giving people their returns because everything went down so hard and so fast. They had something called the sell token, which was supposed to be liquidity for them just to get them out of a jam. And now that token had crashed, and it crashed even harder. Crashed about 80%. So what happened, how they acted on it was people, they locked up people's shares. They literally, like, they you couldn't withdraw, you couldn't take your money out or nothing. They cut that off. So yeah, so people can't even touch their money, messing with Celsius. And then their coin had went down at that a whole lot. So people question, did the Terra Luna thing lead up to it, which I think it did. Because they was up at first and then everything went down. Now they didn't know what to do. So yeah, that's what happened with Celsius. And then another thing too, now one algorithmic stable coin messed up that bad, that it affect the markets, that, people, because remember I told you, people now starting to pay attention to what they put in their money in, especially with these stable coins, because Tron got an algorithmic stable coin too called USDD.
Oh, what's an algorithmic stable coin, man? I know a little bit about cryptos, but not as much as you. What's that, man?
Oh yeah, that's what I said earlier too. It's a coin that's literally backed mainly by code. That's what an algorithmic stable coin is. It's not like USDC, where they have real actual US dollar in reserves. No, it's actually backed by code. I don't know what type of code they backing it with, but it's code. So yeah, and then so that's what I had said earlier too. But now people looking at all be like, oh no, algorithmic stablecoin. Let me take my money out here, and keep it in something that's real. And then that's what happened. Now it's losing its peg, meaning losing it to, losing its dollar value. It's supposed to keep up with the dollar, but not go under it. And that's exactly what it did. Now it's going under too because of the Terra Luna situation. So now, that might affect Tron too. The value of the TRX token, unless they do something. But I don't think it'd be as bad as Luna. They done messed up big twice at that too.
Yeah, then it almost crashed into like nothing.
Oh yeah, and then that's the thing too. Like you just brought up a flashback, because remember I told you I looked at that CoffeeZilla video, and then for those who don't know who CoffeeZilla is, he's a YouTuber. and he dressed up like a detective too, and kind of lays some of his evidence out, like a private eye, that you look at one of those old clips, which is cool. So yeah, I like CoffeeZilla, but so he goes in about he even goes in about like Celsius and the tether situation, basically saying the same thing that we said. So he played a clip of Do Kwon saying, "Oh yeah, and that's the thing with this project too. I would like to, start from nothing and go back to nothing." So what does that sound like to you?
Sound like some villain monologue to me.
It sound like Terra Luna right there. Start from nothing, and then went straight back to nothing. Went to zero.
And that it did. Pretty close.
Yeah, and then I'm also mentioning the fact that if you had invested $1 million in Luna, it would have been $3. That's how much you would have had left.
And that's a pretty big drop. Like, think about that for a second. That's just $1 million. And there's others out there, the people that make the biggest splash in the market, we call them whales. They've invested more than just $1 million. So you can only imagine how much they lost.
That's true. That's true. And then it's bad for the people. Well, I'm gonna say bad for like regular people like you and me, the middle class, because there's a whole lot of people that invested under $1 million. They just got completely destroyed. If that did that to $1 million invested, then safe to say everybody, like a whole lot of people, the middle class that invested in there don't got that money no more.
Yeah, portfolio obliterated. Like,
oh yeah, obliterated. Exodia. Oh, on one hand. That's the piece that did it. I got the fifth piece in the hand. Yeah, man. And I thought Tether was going to go do that first, but now it was Terra. Now it's Terra, and bound to get worse of Tether, because now, like, if y'all look this up, now they showing certain articles too, saying, Tether might be next, or Tether under fire ever since the Luna situation. They got to explain their backing.
Yeah, but like you said, that's been going on for a while. So who knows when their time comes?
Yeah, who knows when their time come? But just keep your eyes open, basically. So so if you take anything from this, do your research, then and then if you're diving into any type of coin, really, like investigate the company, the people, and then just know what you're holding at that. Because with cryptos, definitely you got to play it safe. This goes for stocks too, but yeah, cryptos definitely.
Especially cryptos.
Yes, especially cryptos.
Old italics, especially cryptos.
Yeah, we had to emphasize that. Yeah, because there's been so much lost in this game. Now that there's so much to gain in cryptos too, but there's so much loss at that. Like that, hey, high risk, emphasis on the high. Yeah, high risk, high reward is the definition of that. Because now you're seeing like how this is a domino effect, is what I'm seeing. Now, because we talked about Terra, and then now it has an effect on two other networks, which results in people either taking their money out or people losing money.
And it's going to be one or the other.
So when I say trust, that's what you should do your research on, to the point where you can actually trust that coin or that company or the person that's running it. Because when Belly said trust, I was like, yeah, that's a big word right there.
Trust.
Yeah, if you don't trust it, don't put your money in it.
Or even if it's doing well.
Yeah, because the Ponzi's and scam coins can do well too.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's what it is. The trust right there, and yeah, do that research,
Do
cause
you do your due diligence?
yeah, this ain't financial advice, but yeah, do your due diligence. We can only warn you. Yeah, and that's what I mean. That's what's been going on this year. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff too. Like what Belly said earlier. The price is going up. Especially with this gas, which then reached $5.
I think what was it? I was reading a post. I can't remember from where, but I think it was like the first time in U.S. history where all 50 states the gas prices were, I think, $5 and up. The first time.
Man, $5. Man, it was. I mean, not too long ago. That I remember. I remember it being way lower than that. Like $10 to fill up a whole car. People spending 40 and 50.
Oh, you tell it take like 70 to fill up my car. I'd be sitting here just watching it just drain my account. I'm like, oh my gosh.
There you go. Even some of the drivers complained about it. Well, it came through the door for like $5 for gas. Spend some of that tip money on it, which is a shame. So you got like prices. I mean, even just for the food, can't even spend $1 just for a bag of chips. Got to spend 2 or 3.
Yeah, because everything's going up. Inflation.
Yeah, housing market ridiculous.
Don't even talk about that, bro. We're just a terrible bubble right now. Just waiting to pop.
Oh man.
And that's the crazy thing about it. It's like, to a certain extent, it's nice because this is like, it will be the best time to sell, but it's the worst time to buy a house. It's like a double-edged sword.
Exactly. So, hey, if you plan on selling, prepare to buy a smaller house.
Or I don't know, like, stay in an apartment or something, crash at a friend's house and wait till the bubble pops. Like I said, it's best time to sell, worst time to buy.
Yeah, so go ahead, find a friend, still pay him that rent money, and then just sit on that wealth. You got to probably flip a little bit if you know what you're doing legally.
Of course, legally.
Yeah, but some people, you don't know about some people. I don't know about some people, man. Be like, yeah, this money and Valley told you do that. No, we didn't.
Yeah, I ain't tell you to do that.
Yeah, don't listen to this podcast.
I mean, listen to us, but
don't take us out of context. That's what.
Exactly. That's what I was looking for. Don't take it out of context.
Oh man, I'll take this video down at the night. Yeah, don't get us banned. We already got copyright. Don't get us banned. But
it's funny speaking about increase in prices. Another thing, since the markets are down for a lot of stuff, again, as we said earlier, when the markets are down, we look at this as a sale. This is like a half off, buy one, get one, half off for a lot of things. I don't mean buy everything. You see something low, instantly buy it. I'm just saying, we're in a bear market right now. This is the best time.
Yeah, cause you ever heard of Black Friday, right?
Yeah.
Well, look at the market, be like, yeah, it's Red Saturday.
Well, not for stocks, we close. We close on the weekend.
So Red Friday, then start off early. Because that's exactly what I have in my mind. Just market dips, buy, and then when everything's green again, especially in the crypto market, when we're in the bull run, it goes up. Like that's how millionaires are made. Buy at the lowest dips, and then when that bull run comes, then that's the time to sell. Everything going up. Bitcoin, Ethereum go up. Everything good, especially.
Yeah. But the only other thing with that is buying the dip. When we're in the type of I won't, it's not a recession. I won't say that. But the way the market is right now, we still don't know what the lowest dips are. So be careful with buying that low dip, because you could be thinking this is the lowest it can go, and then something can drop like $100 down, and you could have, got it for a better price then. I'm not saying you missed out on a chance. It's just we don't know we can't predict. We never can predict the market, but we don't have a good handle of how the market is going to go. We know it's going to drop. We just don't know how low it's going to drop. So be careful when buying those dips.
Yeah, that's true because, yeah, you're better off. This ain't financial advice, but better off spending time in the market than actually timing the market. So instead of just focus on timing it, if you actually worry about it, since the market won't be going up anytime soon, just be like, yeah, $50 here or $10 here, each week start accumulating, but then and then see if it drops, even lower than that, which it has been. And then if it's and if it dropped real hard, then I'm like, yep, go ahead, throw $100 in there. I don't even care if it go any lower. It's lower than when I first bought it.
Yep. Or you do what I do. It's dropping. You can put down some option plays or some puts. Because let me say this: it has been a great time for option traders in this market for placing down puts. Because the market has been crashing down so far. And remember, with option plays, puts is you're essentially betting that the price will go down, and that's exactly what the market has been doing. It has been going down.
Yeah, that reminds me. Yeah, and then you can do options and cryptos too. And how I found that out is when because some options traders got rich off the Terra crash because while they was talking to Do Kwon being being all cocky, and then they had other whales be like, okay, watch Luna crash in a few months. I'm gonna bet on it, literally. And then people got a whole lot of money off the crash by doing these option plays.
Oh, they definitely have. Because, like, for instance, I trade SPY, and I think the current price of it right now is 363. Don't quote me on that. It might be like 367. But which I can't pull it up now. But eventually in future episodes, we're adding charts and showing slides and different things.
Oh yeah, screenshots too. Cause I got a few to share.
Exactly. But with SPY, I'll give a pretty good example. Like around we'll say, I don't want to do this. The 16th of June, SPY was, I think, at the highest was like 382, 384. And by the 17th, it had dropped all the way to around 364. It dropped like $20. Now, you might think that's small, but it's actually not. When you're playing options, that's a pretty decent drop in itself. A very big drop at that. So you can make a big play on it. But the grand scheme I was talking about is if you're able to pull up a chart of SPY, like I said, it was trading earlier of June, it was trading around $4.15, $4.16 per share, $416 per share. Now, this is earlier in June, like the first week of June. If you look into now, it is just a massive plummet in price. It's like something falling off the cliff. And it's trading, like I said, right now, 366. So I wasn't too far off. I said 367. But that was a massive drop in price. So for options traders, this was I wouldn't say standard, but this was a nice little play for us. Because like I said, we play both sides. There is no we only love bull markets. Like, don't get me wrong, we want bull markets because that means a company's doing good, more trust in the company. All that things increases the price of the company. That means we can trade it more, all that stuff. Whatever the case is, means the company's doing good. But in the same sense, a bear market, we can make money off a bear market too, because the whole goal is to make successful trades. And so you could make successful trades in a bull market or a bear market. It's just with this, all you had to do was put down some puts and you would have made a killing.
Oh yeah, yep, just like that. People bet against terror. Yeah, they made a killing.
Exactly. Exactly. They made a killing too. So it's the same for crypto traders. They made a killing too. So like we said, even though there is an increase in prices as far as how the economy is going because of inflation, the way the market is going right now, there is money to be made. Now, as far as investing, not day trading or even swing trading, your portfolio probably did take a plummet. Most likely did. It's almost like it had to have plummeted to a certain extent. Not bad, but just know because the way we're in this market right now, it probably plummeted just because of the way it's going. Now,
Yeah, yep, yeah, most likely, yeah, chaos right there.
exactly. So the best thing would have done was either hedge your funds or prepare for it if you were up and up on the investment. But just know that it's not permanent. The market is always going to fall. The market's always going to rise. This is just the way it is. Does it suck? Yeah, it sucks. But this is just how the market goes. This is just how the game is played. This is how it's always been. There's been worse times. There have been better times. This is how it's just going to be. There's going to be times where we're in a pretty crappy bear market. And like I said, the market kind of reflects what's going on in the economy, and we see how the economy is. We have an increase in prices. We have inflation, increase in
Yeah,
real estate sector. Real estate properties going up because we're in a massive bubble right now that's just waiting to pop. And when it pops, the market's going to drop even further.
and that's crazy too, And then we already got the shortages also.
Oh yeah, exactly. I forgot about that too. Yeah, we have shortages going on. That's affecting the market. This goes back into like this is the danger returns, but mainly we're going off of influences. All these things that we've talked about so far influence the market in some shape or form. Shortages influence the market because it's what's going on in the economy. It's what's going on in the world. What's going on in the country. That's what influences the market. Everything influences the market. We have a massive shortage going on. Just I think it was a few weeks ago, we had a shortage on Similac, and we had to get some flown in from I forget which country, but flown us some Similac. I forget which country it was, but yeah, it was a shortage going on that, and that's a big problem to have a shortage on Similac.
That's crazy. Yeah, shortage of that. Yeah, microchips.
Yep, microchips for computers.
Yeah, food too. Like, 'cause I know y'all's been seeing the same shelves empty for the longest time.
Yeah, warehouses not getting certain products, so they're shutting down certain areas and certain warehouses because at one point in time they weren't getting the product from that company, so they just had to shut certain areas down. There's a shortage going on.
Yeah, man, and and all them ships being stuck, out there in the water. Couldn't even bring everything to us on time, and that's the thing too because we got all the material, but it's just not getting here.
Exactly. Aren't they still stuck? Some of them are.
Yeah,
Because
I
the
think
news
some.
kind of been quiet so far as what I've been saying. It's kind of quiet about that.
Yep, and guess what? It led to that.
What?
I mean, so COVID really messed a lot of things up, because it put people out of work. Oh, they couldn't do anything.
Oh yeah, COVID definitely put a lot of people out of work. What was I'm trying to remember the percentage of like the unemployment rate for COVID. The unemployment rate was insanely high. Just for April of that year, what was it, 2020? I want to say. I think the unemployment rate was around 14% back in April of 2020.
Yeah, because you was like, we haven't had a rate like that in a long time, too, like in decades, right?
Yeah, because the last one that was even close to that was the recession back in '08. I think the unemployment rate was around like 10%. That was around October of '08 or '09. Can't specifically remember. But yeah,
Yeah,
that was the last time I was even anywhere near close to that. So yeah,
yeah,
you were about a decade ago, or a little
yeah,
more than a decade.
yeah. People was yeah, a lot of people wasn't working, and we was locked down too.
Yep, and that reflected in the market as well too because of COVID. The market, I think we was in a bear market during that time too. Eventually, it crept back up, but the markets were pretty down during that time too. Not
Yeah,
all, not the whole entire time, but some of it.
the market was down bad during that time, and then I found out, factories were burning down too.
Were
Different
they?
factories were burning. Yeah, metal factories, some other factories too. Yeah, they were burning like out of nowhere.
That's crazy. All these things affect the market, logistics especially. Like this is something you got to understand. If you do not have a logistics in your country, that is so damaging. You do not understand how damaging that is. Logistics is one of the things that runs the country. It's logistics. That's what not even runs it, but what makes the country function. You have to have logistics. We're having a shortage. That hurts your logistics. That hurts the prices. Companies don't have certain supplies. They don't have certain products because there's a shortage going on. They can't get the product over on time. They're missing certain dates to get the product over here. That's causing the price to either stock. I mean, the price to plummet or increase. All these things affect the market. It's literally like a domino effect. All of that affects us too.
Yeah, it does. One thing lead to another, a domino
Exactly.
effect, and yeah, then a lot of stuff fell hard, and then we still, and then it's crazy. We still feeling the effects, of COVID when it started a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we still feeling the effects. Like the example you gave, there's still cargo ships sitting out in the waters waiting to pull in. We can't get that cargo off the ship. We can't get those products onto land. We can't get them in the stores. So therefore, we can't purchase any of those items because they're not there. So therefore, we can't purchase their items. The company that sells certain items won't get any return from us because you know what? We're not buying them because they're not there.
No,
So
they're
their
not.
decrease as well. Their earnings decrease as well. So all of this affects everybody. It's almost like a circle of life thing or a circle of the economy. It affects everybody.
Yeah, it's a whole cycle, and a lot of stuff can't get made too because the materials is not getting here. Remember, I brought up the microchips.
Yep, missing
Yeah,
a lot of that. A lot of people that wanted to build their own PCs couldn't do it because it was a certain chip they wanted. They don't have it anymore because there's a shortage.
yeah. And even if they do, they're gonna charge an arm and a leg for it. So if they
Exactly.
already got those chips, they're gonna keep flipping it, and you're gonna just gonna have to spend that money.
Exactly. And then at one point, it was a shortage of workers. So even if they had the material, there wasn't enough supply to be made because no one was making those chips. So there was a shortage of workers. That's a good. Like even now, it was this whole thing about the truckers doing a pro. Oh well, in Canada, the truckers had a protest where they weren't going to you know drive the trucks to give out the products and all that, deliver the products. Now that was still a massive hit to logistics, but I'm pretty sure what's funny, they got that stuff straightened out. But it was a reason why they were protesting, and there were understandable reasons.
Yeah, man, and even the truckers are, definitely feeling it too because they can't even get their parts for the truck on time.
Or yeah, and they're
Yeah.
getting overworked as well.
So yeah, it's affecting all this distribution, and yeah, it's hurting everything. That still is.
And like with everything we talked about, like Terra Luna, increase in prices, shortages, the effects of COVID, and the market's going down, the real estate sector, increase in real estate. It kind of almost brings up the question like, are we in a recession or are we gearing towards one?
Yep, that's the real question right there. So are we in it already, or or are we heading towards one? Because right now we do have a lot of red flags with
Oh, yeah,
everything Belly just listed.
yeah, all those are red flags. I mean that, like, for one thing, like last quarter, the GDP, the gross domestic product for us, I think last quarter, the percentage of it dropped by, I think, what was it, 1.4, if I'm not mistaken. I think it dropped by 1.4% by last quarter. What determines kind of like a recession is if we drop 2 quarters in a row. We already dropped 1 quarter. So if we drop this quarter, I think technically speaking, it will be a recession. But we're not the ones that determine that.
Yeah,
Ember,
we're just the ones that feel like it, but it hasn't been. What he's saying, it hasn't been confirmed yet. You know, by the people that you normally look at to announce it. Determine whether we're in a recession or not. But it feels like it, which is why both of us saying like that there are a lot of red flags there. I know COVID, like 2020 definitely felt like a recession, with a lot of people out of work.
oh, there's plenty of people out of work. And still some people out of work.
Yep.
So
Yeah, times are crazy.
it is. So it's like we don't necessarily have an answer. I don't think we're in a recession now, but I think it's more of we are gearing towards one. And this is not to panic anybody or to gaslight anybody. We're just kind of like going off of information and our own opinions about it.
Yeah, and then the same thing too. I think we're heading towards a recession. Like I mean, it's pretty bad now, but even just like I told Veli, I feel like this is my opinion too. We're heading something, towards something worse too.
Even not heading towards, I feel like we have the right setup. We'll at least say we have the right setup for one.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah. So the question: are we in a recession? So yeah, right now, I'm gonna say, we may not be, but it's not confirmed. But it feels like it though. You ain't wrong if you say you feel like it with all
Yeah,
the
it
stuff
definitely
going
feels like it.
on. I had to ask myself that too. I mean, is this a recession right now? But
it
all jokes aside, it is getting crazy. It's getting ridiculous out here.
it is. And again, I wish I can, pull this up and show y'all with the chart of kind of like the technical terms of how it determines a recession. I think back around a little bit after COVID, I kind of want to say, or maybe before COVID, we were when you look at a chart, we were in our expansion. And basically what that means, we was climbing, like think of us climbing up a mountain. We're going up the roller coaster. We was in the expansion phase. I think kind of around a little bit after that, we're still sitting at the peak. Then now we're dropping off. It's like we was in a roller coaster, we was climbing up to the top. We got to the top, and now the roller coaster is coming down. We're in that area right now where the roller coaster is coming down. We don't know when it's going to level out and we can enjoy the ride again, or we still got to drop down even further. We don't know yet. We just know we're in that area.
Yep, heading towards the red, but still inconclusive right now.
Yeah, it's still inconclusive.
So just keep your eyes open is basically what we're saying.
And like I said, we're not the ones that determine we're in a recession. Technically, it would be NBER, and NBER is the National Bureau of Economic Research. They're the ones that kind of give the green light to say, or have the final say, technically, or we are in a recession. They're the ones that publicly, will put that out there. But they're definitely watching it. Just know that they are keeping track of, they are watching it, and other people are watching it. And you might watch other people's shows, listen to their viewpoints. Some will think we're in a recession. It's not a wrong thought process. I'm not going against it. Some think we're not technically in one right now. I'm not going to go against their opinion because either one could be right. We don't know yet. We just know we have the right setup for one. Some believe we're coming out of that recession-like phase and going back to our, gearing towards our glory days again, eventually.
Yeah, and then some, got different opinions too. Like, oh no, this is about to be way worse. We're about to head towards a depression. Not saying that's true, but there are different opinions on it.
Yep, it is. And like I said, we're not trying to gaslight anybody. We're just kind of letting you know where the facts sit at this time and point. Well, is at this point in time. Okay, you have all the information here. We're not saying it is a recession, but the setups are looking pretty right for it. And who knows? We could completely miss it and everything be just fine. But like I said, we have shortage issue, increase in prices, inflation going on in the real estate market. We're still feeling the effects of COVID. We have the markets crashing. We're in a bear market right now. And just because we're in a bear market doesn't determine, it might be a recession. No, because a lot of times there'll be a market crash. A lot of times, some of you won't notice. But if you pay attention, there's market crash. Not all the time. Some are pretty severe. Some are mild. But there are market crashes.
Yeah, it definitely comes with the game. We got a bull runs and now and we got our bear markets. It just comes with it. But we're just telling y'all something like everything bad happening now can influence a crash at that too. It doesn't have to mean we're going into a recession just because you look at the stock market or crypto market and think that's an indicator. We're not saying use that as an indicator. We're just saying how all this can affect where you put your money at.
Exactly. And by you saying indicator, all this information together kind of brings up the idea, could we technically go into a recession? We're not going off just one, the market's crashing, possible recession, or inflation, possible recession. It's all of these indicators together. You don't go to a crime scene and look at one evidence and then judge who is guilty or who committed the crime. You have to look at all the evidence and then come to a conclusion.
And then that's exactly what people should do with their research too. Look at more than one source.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't go just off because somebody said it and then you ain't look back at it at what you put your money at. Be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna verify this. It's good to verify, but don't just make a decision based off somebody else. But based off somebody else is saying, this is going to happen with this. I guarantee you, it doesn't mean they're going to be right just because they're 100% confident.
Yeah, take us for instance. I know you listen to us, just don't take our word and run with it. Like, do your own research.
Yeah, like we said earlier, no, we ain't saying that. Don't take us out of context.
I mean,
Man.
like we're trying to give information, but still do your own research. Like I said, just don't take what we say and take it and run with it. Don't do that.
Yeah, yeah,
Keep
just
an eye and I wouldn't say warnings, but
yeah, just keep an open mind and then kind of research, what we mentioned too, kind of look up what we're talking about. That way not only you can remember it, but it'll help you research. You still make your own decisions, but you can, at least take what we said and then, help you better your research.
Exactly. I know I've been sounding distracted. It was like a wasp flying around me. I'm trying to smack the mess out of it. Like that's what I was like, hold up.
Oh man, what you got to kill it with? don't kill it with your mic. Yeah, that's $7 mic.
I got the chew in my hand. I'm like, wait till this episode
Oh man. The wasp. First it was the dogs, now the wasp ruining the show. Hope I don't hear it buzzing. I heard it buzzing.
I was like, just wait.
Just wait to plotting like you did that mole in the yard for a whole hour. Oh man. Yeah, we definitely got to cut this. but that's going to end it there though. Yeah, like we said, just keep an open mind. Don't rely on just one source, especially when you're doing your research. Pay attention to everything that's going on. Be safe. And we had to get dark again. Just because we got to put these warnings out there. Especially when you engage into something as risky as the crypto market, and other markets too, but especially cryptos. But other than that, though, this ain't financial advice, by the way, just because we're talking about all this, and this doesn't mean we're rich either. Please don't go thinking that.
Yeah, we just like talking about money. Like I said, we got to give you our warning because, like Money said, this is a dangerous market. The reason why we're always so serious is because it deals with money. We're talking about money. It's always going to be a little serious when we talk about that. We ain't going to play with your money. I hope you don't play with your money.
No, unless you just, made that money off returns and then you can play with it, because you ain't had to spend the money you put in. But that's something different though if you made the money. But these things can affect you, your life, and then your family life too. So because you're doing this for a reason to actually live a better life and don't have to stress about money. Because we got to use that to pay the water bill, the light bill, and everything. Pay the rent so you can have a place to stay.
Or you just want to take some time for yourself. You want a vacation, or you want to buy something nice for yourself, or you just want to be better off financially. Which a lot of us, I would hope, all of us will want to be better financially.
Yes, and I know I do.
Same here. That's why we do this.
Yep, and this is not going to be easy, but it comes with a sacrifice, which for all you newcomers is what we talk about in episode 7 and 8. It's good to listen to those two together. Simple ways to build wealth and then what money actually means. But other than that, though, be on the lookout for episode -1, which is only going to be on Instagram and TikTok. Is the only time for right now that you're going to see us go live. Like we'll go live in the future, and, kind of work our way up. Right now, we're going to work our way up the slides, and then we'll eventually go live, especially by the second season. But it's coming. It's definitely coming. So be on the lookout for that Below Zero series.
Yeah, Below Zero. Get cold out there.
Get cold out there. But other than that, though, yeah, this Money and Valley right here. And yeah, we're just going to have to close this episode.
All right, peace out, y'all. Enjoy yourselves.
Yeah, peace out.